Nathan Hale had always believed he understood people. As the founder of Hale Tech, one of the fastest rising companies in the city, he had built an empire from nothing. He saw himself as a good boss, perhaps distant, perhaps strict, but generous in pay, benefits, and bonuses. At least that's what he liked to think. But lately, something about Elena Brooks, one of his most diligent employees, kept tugging at his attention. She was always the first to arrive and the last to leave. She never took breaks unless someone reminded her. Yet every payday, she would rush out of the office as though escaping a fire. Nathan first noticed this behavior 2 months ago. The finance department had reported that Elena, despite her good salary, had never touched her bonus money, always withdrawing her pay the moment it came through and leaving nothing behind. That concerned him, not because of the money, but because of the desperation he sensed behind the act. One Friday evening, he watched her pack up quickly, stuffing old papers into her worn backpack. She walked with nervous steps toward the elevator. He shouldn't care, he shouldn't pry, but he did, and so, for the first time in his career, the billionaire CEO followed an employee. He kept a subtle distance, sunglasses, a cap pulled low, something he had practiced to avoid paparazzi. Elena boarded a bus, old and rattling, and Nathan followed in his sleek dark car, sticking behind far enough to blend with traffic. The bus rattled through the city and then out toward the early outskirts, the area he had spent millions trying to redevelop. Old buildings, flickering street lamps, graffiti-covered walls, and a deep sense that dreams went here to die. He parked and continued on foot as she walked into a cramped alley. At the end of it stood a building barely holding itself together, bricks cracked, windows taped, water stains everywhere. That was her home. Nathan felt a sting of guilt. This was far worse than he imagined. Inside the building, dirty staircases twisted upward. Nathan waited a moment, then slipped in behind her, careful with each step. On the second floor she paused, caught her breath, and then unlocked a door with 3 different, mismatched locks. When the door opened, a little boy's joyful voice burst out. "Mama, you came back." Nathan froze. A boy, maybe 6 or 7, ran into Elena's arms. His clothes were too small, patches stitched into the knees, hair longer than his face. He hugged her like he hadn't seen her in days. Elena dropped to her knees, holding him as if she was holding the last precious thing in the world. "I'm sorry I'm late," she whispered into his hair. "Did you behave for Mrs. King?" He nodded, but his expression changed when he looked around. "I'm hungry, Mama." Elena smiled, though sorrow dulled her eyes. "I know, baby, I brought food." She pulled out a small container, rice with some vegetables. Nathan noticed the container had a restaurant logo, not from any place expensive, but one of those food stalls that sold leftover meals cheaply at closing time. The boy ate fast, too fast. Elena stroked his back gently. "Slow down, you'll choke." Nathan looked away for a moment, his heart tight. In his world, hunger only existed in documentaries. Yet here, his own employee, his hardest worker, had a starving child at home. What kind of boss did that make him? Then a cough interrupted his thoughts. He looked again. The boy coughed violently, chest heaving, wheezing sharply. Elena's calm facade immediately shattered with fear. "Breathe, sweetie, breathe." She rushed inside, grabbing a small inhaler from a dented metal box. She knelt and helped him use it carefully until his breathing steadied. Asthma. Nathan recognized the symptoms. His younger sister had suffered the same condition. But she had the best doctors, the best inhalers. This boy, he barely had one. "Elena, why didn't you tell anyone?" Nathan whispered, though no one could hear him. While the boy recovered, Elena took off her jacket. Only then Nathan realized, under her long sleeves, her arms were wrapped in bandages. Thin, worn bandages, like she reused them again and again. He frowned. Was she hurt, ill, or... Suddenly the boy pointed to the bandages. "Does it still hurt, Mama?" "No," Elena lied with a soft smile. "It doesn't." Nathan's stomach twisted. He had enough evidence to end this little undercover mission here. He could confront her, ask why she never requested help, why she never applied for assistance despite company programs available. But something told him he hadn't seen the full truth yet. The boy crawled into his small mattress, more like a pile of blankets on the floor. Elena tucked him in gently, humming a lullaby, her voice trembling. When the child finally fell asleep, Elena dragged an old chair near him and collapsed into it. There, in the darkness, she let her strength break. Her shoulders shook, her hands covered her mouth. Silent sobs. Pain breaking through the barriers she wore at work. Nathan felt like an intruder. He turned to leave, ready to give her the privacy she deserved. But then he heard her whisper, so fragile he almost missed it. "Hold on, just a little longer, Liam. Mama's trying so hard." His chest felt stabbed. A shameful memory flashed before him. One day, he had scolded her for being late, only 5 minutes late. She had apologized and kept her eyes on the ground. He thought she simply lacked commitment. He thought she needed tough discipline. Now he understood. She wasn't just working for herself. She was working to keep her child alive. But the deepest shock came when she pulled another item from her bag, a small envelope, with the Hail Tech logo printed on it. Her bonus envelope. She opened it slowly, and then, she pulled out every bill and counted each one with trembling fingers. And Nathan realized what broke his heart the most. There wasn't nearly enough for what she needed. Whatever her fight was, hunger was only a part of it. The medical bills on the table, the unpaid rent notices, and the hospital appointment reminders scattered everywhere told him this was a battle she was already losing. He had been celebrating his success, while one of his own employees was drowning right under his nose. Nathan stepped back, guilt heavy in every breath. He couldn't let her see him there tonight. She deserved dignity, not pity. But this wasn't over. He was going to find out everything. He was going to make it right, even if it meant unraveling truths that would crush him. As he walked away from the broken building, one promise formed in his heart. No one who worked for him would suffer unseen ever again. Tomorrow, he would begin. And Alina's life would never be the same.